the radiator cap. Make sure the engine is cold. Never take the cap off while it's hot. Just twist to the left. And slide it off. You want to remove this shield. There should be some push pins holding it in right here. Just take a straight blade screwdriver, get underneath the push pin. You can try to loosen it up with a Phillips head, but normally it doesn't work. Then a trim tool, pull those all out. And throughout the rest of the panel, you're going to take these bolts out, use a 12mm socket. Take those out. In the corners, there's a couple more push pins. They're kind of hard to get to. Just use a trim tool. Just try to pry those out. Just like that. Same with this one. Now we're going to open up the drain. Make sure you have a drain bucket underneath here. Just loosen this up. There we go. Take these push pins out on top. You can, again, either use a screwdriver and try to unscrew these. Most of the time it doesn't work. And then use a trim tool or just pry up underneath here. And pry them out that way. It's two 10mm bolts, one on this side, one on the other. Use a 10mm socket. Take those out. There's 4 screws right here. I already took those 2 out. Use a Phillips head screwdriver. Take those out. And you can grab this panel. Just slide this panel off, just like that. You can close the drain at this point. Just twist it, and that's good. Take these push pins out right here. You can do it the same as the other ones. Just use a pick or a screwdriver. Even unscrew them. Do the same on the other side. You can take this bolt out right here, use an 8mm socket, or you can use a Phillips head screwdriver. Now just grab the bumper cover and just forcefully pull it out. Just pop it out just like this. It's going to take a little bit of effort. There you go. Do the same on the other side. There's a couple of clips that are right here and right here that if you grab the bumper and you can get them to dislodge, you're all set. If not, if you're struggling a little bit, pull the headlight out. It's fairly easy. There's 2 bolts up on top. Use a 10mm socket. And there's another bolt down here. Same 10mm socket. Take that one out as well. And just grab the light assembly and just pull it forward. Just angle it up a little bit. And it slides out. You can disconnect the connector right here. Just push down on the tab. Slide it off. And this is where those 2 clips are that were giving us a little trouble. Just take a straight blade screwdriver, get underneath here, and then you should be able to slide this forward. Same with this one over here. Just like that. Do the same on the other side. And with those released, just grab the bumper cover and slide it out. Take this panel off, use a Phillips head screwdriver. There's 2 screws on this side, 2 on the other side. And just slide that out of the way. Take this guard off. Use the same Phillips head screwdriver. And remove this panel, just slides forward, just like that. There's a couple tabs. Take this upper radiator bracket off, use a 10mm socket, take these two bolts out. And just slide this up. Take the other one off as well. Take these two shields off. There's some clips on both sides. Just take those off. Just try to slide this out of the way. Now disconnect the upper radiator hose. You can use a hose clamp tool. Just get underneath the hose clamp. And use a hose tool removal or a 90-degree pick. And slide the hose off. Remove this hose. You can use some hose pliers. Just slide that off. Disconnect this bracket right here. Use a 10mm socket. Take the bolt out. And just grab the bracket. And slide that out of the way. Take this bolt off here, and there's one right here. Use a 10mm socket. Disconnect this connector right here. Just push down on the tab, slide it off. And there's another connector on the other side. Disconnect that, push it down, slide that off as well. On the fan assembly, there's a wire that's attached right there. Just use a trim tool. Just take that attachment off. There you go. At the base of the fan assembly, there's a little tab right here. Just slide that tab out. You're gonna have to do the same on the other side. And grab the fan assembly and carefully slide it out. And it slides right out. And just slide the fan shroud in position. And line those bottom tabs up with those lined up. Then you can push it down, lock it in place. That's good. Take the two bolts, get this one started here and the other one over here. And tighten them down. And connect the connector. That's good. Take this J-nut off right here. You can use a screwdriver or some needle nose pliers. Just try to slide it off. Just like that. You can bend it back. And install that right there. Install this bracket, just line it up, and put the bolt in, and snug it down. Now take the hose, you can use your hose clamp. Hose clamp pliers. And just line that up. Attach it to the radiator. And you can loosen up on your pliers. And just make sure the hose goes through that bracket right there. Now reinstall this hose. Just line that up. Put that on. Reinstall these covers. Just line this up. And lock it down. Same on this side. Lock it down. Reinstall this bracket, just slide it on and screw it down. You can also use a 7mm socket to tighten these down. Install this bracket and install the screws. Get all the screws started first, and then you can tighten them down. And snug them all down. I'll slide these upper radiator brackets on and get the bolts started. And tighten those down. Reinstall this air snorkel. And push the push pins back in position. Slide the bumper cover back in position. Just line that all up. Be careful not to scratch it. And make sure these clips line up. And over on the side, just pop that back in. Do that on both sides. At this point, you can put the headlight back in, connect the connector, and you just kind of got to angle it in this way a little bit. Pull the grill out a little and lock it in place. Put the 3 bolts in. Tighten these down. And when you're completely done, because you pulled the headlights out, it's a good idea to just adjust the headlights and make sure they're okay. The adjustment's right here. Now get this screw lined up. Just make sure this bumper lines up with the fender and just snug it up. Now take this under shield and just line it up. And it's going to go underneath these. Like that. And take all the bolts. Get all the bolts started. Once all those are started, tighten them up. And all the push pins, get those started. And push those in. And the 2 push pins on the side, push those in. That one as well. Now take this panel and line it up. Get that started. And put all those screws in. Just snug them down. And the push pins, line those up. Push them in. And the 2 bolts on the side, get those started. And snug those down. Now double check your owner's manual for the proper coolant. Add the coolant, fill it up completely. You want to run the engine for about 10 minutes, constantly monitoring the amount of coolant that's in there. After it's run and warmed up, you want to shut the vehicle off, put the radiator cap back on, let it cool down, double check the amount again, and go for a test drive, and you should be good to go. You can check the coolant level in the reservoir right here.